Hello, everyone. My name is Darlene Koskinen. I'm from Finland, and I'm very happy to be here and to be doing a talk about early years movement for ECDF. It's always an honor to speak for them and be a part of their events. So let me share my presentation now, and then we can get going. All right. Good. So I'm here to speak about how to really implement movement simply and effectively. And I really do hope that you're going to learn a lot from me. I'm very passionate about getting children coordinated at as young an age as possible. And I think it is very important for those who work with early learners to understand the many, many benefits of doing so. Movement is truly, truly essential now more than ever before. So first of all, why is intentional movement essential in today's world? So let me just sort of clarify this word intentional. That means planned movement, a movement activity that has an objective, a reason why you are doing it, what the children are learning. For example, maybe you're focusing on static balance, then you are then going to plan balance activities. So it's intentional planning for children to develop certain movement skills. So fewer children are becoming naturally coordinated. So this is really worrying, and the outcome of this is very scary. Worldwide, children are not moving as much as they used to. It used to happen naturally. Kids used to always be outdoors, playing in the playground with their friends, but unfortunately, they're spending a lot more time doing other things nowadays. So unfortunately, screens are the preferred way to spend more time for both parents and children. And of course, children follow the example. So if the parents are on a screen all the time, then they think that they should be too. And I think parents hand children screens without really understanding the dire side effects of doing so and how screens are hindering all later development. Eating habits have changed. So there's an increase in the obesity levels of children worldwide as well. So fast food is cheaper, it's quicker, it's easy to get on the way home, it's easy to order in, but this means the children are not eating nutritious food, and this is leading to obesity. The heavier a child is, the more unlikely they are to then do exercise. It's harder for them, they're heavier, they move slower, they are not quick and fast moving. So more and more children are doing less movement because of obesity. So yes, parents are busier. We all trying to get out there, make a living, make ends meet, provide for our children. But this is leaving less and less time and less opportunities to do movement as a family. Weekends are full of all kinds of activities, and children are moving less with parents. And of course, when you do this, you are then having quality time with your children. So this is very, very important to do. Even if it's just a 20-minute walk, this means you have an opportunity to communicate, to talk about your day, to learn what's bothering your children, what their friends are up to. So getting out there and doing activity is very, very important, but sadly it's being done less. But with planning, this can be achieved. So there are many sort of side effects to too little movement. And I'm going to briefly speak about all of these in this webinar with you. So please do focus. Do not have your cell phones near you. I want you to really concentrate on everything that I'm going to speak about now, because it is very, very important. And most of all, it is our responsibility as adults to ensure the children in our care move as often as possible. So an increasing number of children are struggling with self-regulation. So that means they are unable to control their emotions, their behavior in certain places. All right, so this is quite worrying because children become overwhelmed in different environments and they're unable to calm themselves down. And this causes disturbance, frustration, anxiety. So through movement, children learn to regulate themselves, their behavior, their emotions. They learn compassion. They learn patience. They learn when to support a friend and when not. Do they laugh at a friend who's falling? No. They learn all of these kinds of things through movement. Their ability to focus and concentrate is declining. So this especially is a very big concern, because how does a child learn if they cannot focus and concentrate? So through movement, children have to focus on what their bodies are doing, what object they are catching, for example, where they are aiming, how they are motor planning. This all teaches children to focus and concentrate. Their coordination, balance, and body strength is not what it should be. So if a child is clumsy, they lose their balance easily, they lack muscle tone in their hands, their upper body, they fatigue easily. This is all just due to lack of movement. And in the early years between 2 and 7, this is when children should be moving the most, because that is when the brain is optimized for movement, and they should be experiencing a wide variety of movement to develop all-round body coordination and balance. And by using different kinds of equipment and different activities, they develop body strength, specifically the core. So children are achieving physical milestones later than they used to, affecting learning outcomes. So all experiences should be experienced with the body first, and then when it comes to later learning, it is then easily achieved. The same neural pathways that are used for movement and for later learning are the same. And if children are not reaching their milestones, if they're not learning to balance, to skip, to run well, to jump with the feet together, to throw and catch a ball, this all hinders later learning. So if they don't achieve those physical milestones by age 7, this is likely meaning that they will have problems in the classroom too. So very, very important that they do achieve core movement skills. So movement experiences in the early years define brain development. Okay, so few people truly understand the connection. And I will share just a little bit with you about that today. There are many, many areas of movement that support brain development, and I will be sharing 4 of those main areas as we work through this webinar. So literacy skills require the development of specific physical skills best learned through whole body movement, as I mentioned earlier. So core strength, if children do not have a strong core, so that is like from the hips upwards, their bodies get tired. So sitting in a chair and focusing becomes very challenging for them. They start to feel the ache in their body. They start to slouch. They start to wriggle. They start to kick their chair. They start to lean on their desk. They're unable to now focus on what they are being taught or what they are hearing or what they should be doing because their bodies are tired. And this is just through lack of strength in the upper body developed through specific movement activities. And I will be sharing more about this just now. So manual dexterity. So for children to be able to hold scissors well, to hold a pencil or a crayon well, to have strong hands so that their hands do not get tired if they are doing patterns or coloring or writing. They need stamina in their hands too. And this is learned through movement by manipulating a wide variety of different objects and practicing to separate their digits and doing activities that require the use of the hands in different ways. Tracking and cross-lateral movement, this supports reading and writing. So having to cross the midline, doing activities where the eyes have to track an object, this all supports reading and writing. Let's move on. All right, so first we're going to talk about core and upper body strength. And as I said earlier, this supports stability and focus and concentration. All right, so I have a few pictures here. I will go through those. So the one on the top left, the children are lifting their bodies up and moving over those orange cubes. So they're being forced to hold their body up, which means the core muscles in the tummy area are working. So if they're doing this for a couple of meters, this is strengthening the muscles. Then below that, you can see me working with a child. So when a child is supporting their body on their arms, they are then developing upper body strength in their shoulders. And here, this girl is lifting her hips, and this means she's using her core and her legs. So I call this making a bridge, and you can do this and roll a ball down the bridge, for example. But having the child hold their hips up and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then roll the ball down, makes it a fun activity. On the right-hand side at the top, any balances like this, where they are on their bottom or doing different kinds of balances, the core is needed. All of those muscles in the core are needed to hold that position. So once again, developing the core. Down below, you see a little girl kneeling. So whenever I am doing activities where the upper body is being used, it is important that the children kneel because this frees the upper body for movement. And most importantly, they need to use their core to sit upright. Whereas if they are W sitting, then their body is slouching and they are not using their core. So just keep that in mind when you are doing activities using the upper body. So activities like jumping require the core. They need to have the muscles working while in flight. Animal walks, giraffe walks, frog jumps, bear walks, birdie walks, all kinds of animal walks also help to develop core strength. So lifts, just like I showed you in the bottom left picture. So that could be crab walk as well, where they're lifting their body up. Also holding the feet up and doing a wheelbarrow. Rocking, where the child is nice and small and they're rocking backwards and forwards, and rolling. So lots of different kinds of movement that develop core strength. So now I will show you a video of a few core strength activities. So this is crab walk, so having to hold the body up. Double-decker balance, both partners are working very hard. Here they use their core to lift up and over. And here's the wheelbarrow. The children can do this every day. Superman, a favorite. Here the children are using their core to hold their bodies up straight. Here they're balancing on their bottom and using their core again. Here the core is used to maintain balance while they rotate. So these are just a few activities that you can do at home or in the classroom to develop core strength. So now I'm going to talk about the skill of eye tracking. So when children learn to track an object with their eyes, this then supports reading and writing. So they need to be able to track an keep their head still and watch when they read and write. They keep their head still and they're looking from left to right all the time. So this is tracking. But if this is learned through the whole body first, it is then much easier to achieve when they are older. So as I said, the same neural pathways are used. If we develop those neural pathways first through movement, it is then easier when they sit down in the classroom to do it. So here are a few ideas. Let's look at the photos first. So what's happening there is a little boy is running to catch that ball. So he has to track that ball with his eyes and then have the correct timing to catch the ball with his hands. All right, so that's all tracking that's taking place. The eyes are working very hard and then communicating with the hands when to catch the ball. Beneath that, a hoop has been rolled across in front of the little girl, and she's having to throw a bean bag through the hoop as it rolls past in front of her. Very fun, beneficial activity. The child has to track that hoop as it comes in front of her and then aim and throw. So once again, the eyes are taking in all the information that is in front of them, and then the body has to react at the same time. Practicing tracking. Top right, a hoop is being thrown to the child, and the child has to track it and catch it as it comes towards them. At the bottom, a ball, once again, tracking the ball as it comes towards and catching it at the right time. So all of these activities support the skill of eye tracking. So ball rolling, ball throwing, catching, aiming to a target, kicking, dodging, all of these support the skill of eye tracking. And now I'm going to play just a short video. This is a great activity. Funnels are used and just a tennis ball, but an excellent activity for tracking. You don't need a lot of space. So just take a look and maybe you can implement. All right, so just a quick idea there for you. Find some kitchen funnels, tennis balls, and the children can practice tracking, hand-eye coordination, and directional movement at the same time. So using the hands to manipulate object, develop strong hands and dexterity supporting writing and fine motor skills. So any activities where the pincer grip is used or where they have to use their fingers on a hoop, this all helps to develop manual dexterity. I'm going to be playing a video for you where I'm talking about hoop activities that you can do with your children. You will see how I implement them. I will be talking about the actual way I teach it. It's a few minutes, so just bear with me. Make a note of the ideas that you see in this video, and I hope that you will implement them too to help your children develop manual dexterity. So I'm going to be talking to you about doing hoop activities for 2 to 3-year-olds, and as well as the importance of doing so. So when you are doing these kinds of activities, you are developing manual dexterity, you are strengthening their fingers so that when they come to using scissors and holding a pencil and anything to do with requiring the pincer grip, this then helps to develop the muscles and the hands for this purpose. When you are using hoops for little ones, make sure they are as small as possible. So for 2 to 3-year-olds, I use a 40 centimeter diameter hoop. So now I'm going to share the fun activities that I do with this age group. So first of all, I like to sing a song. As often as possible, I sing because this engages them and they follow really well. So for example, I would sing a simple song like, "This is the way we turn the hoop, turn the hoop, turn the hoop." So I would sing this kind of song, and whenever I'm doing activities with the little ones, I exaggerate the hand movements. So this is just for them to simply learn how to maneuver the fingers, which is pretty challenging, okay? And then if I'm going to do an activity where they move their hands along the hoop like this, I would open and close, so really emphasizing that they have to change the grip. So this one and then this one moves and the other one catches it. This one moves and the other one catches it. So just in that way. And then we could be spinning the hoop. So this is the way we spin the hoop, spin the hoop, spin the hoop. And the little ones would do it very gently to begin with, but they come to really enjoy doing this activity. Then an activity that I like to do for them, which is also very, very good for motor planning, is that they pass the hoop around their body. So they have to learn to change hands at the back, come to the front, change hands, change at the back, and change in the front. So this takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of support from the adult to do it, but once they understand, they then do it pretty easily. And then another activity I do is that they can pretend to be driving a car. So this is really good for pretend play, but the adult needs to get on the floor, do it with them, use the sound effects, and make it fun. So just sitting down and then having their steering wheel, I emphasize to hold it like this, and round the corner, and stop. The light is red. So you can do some integrated learning here about the color of the traffic lights and what they do and so on. So lots of sound effects, going from one side to the other and really getting involved with doing that activity. And then you can also do directional movement. Okay, so for example, they can hold it down and then they can lift it up nice and tall and then go down and up, down and up. All right, so these are just a few simple ideas that you can do with a hoop for children ages 2 to 3 years. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video and that you got a few tips there on some activities that you can do with your younger children. So that video was specifically for children for 2 to 3 years. All right, so that's a very fun age. They get excited about learning all kinds of stuff, and you can do those kinds of activities with them in morning circle or during your day. So now I'm going to talk about cross-lateral activities. And these support reading and writing as well. So this is when children are having to cross the midline. All right. So it's very important that children do activities where they are putting one limb or arm in front of the other. So going across the imaginary line down the middle of the body. Okay, so this is really, really important for the children to achieve. And even a simple activity as crawling is so, so important for young children to do. So if children miss out the crawling stage, they still need to try and do crawling even after they've learned to walk. And doing crawling activities, even when they're 4, 5, 6-year-olds, is very beneficial for the brain. So as you can see on the top left, the children are crossing their legs over, but keeping the rope in front of them. And then they would jump their feet apart and cross over again. So crossing the midline using the legs. Below that, the children are using scarves. And scarves are a great way to practice crossing the midline because they can cross the arms over. They can cross over in this way. So just dancing with scarves and moving them different ways, you can also help them practice crossing the midline. On the right-hand side image, this little girl is picking up that orange block and To do that, she's crossing the midline, and then she's placing it on the other side of that blue floor beam. Then she moves to the next one, crosses over to place it. And this is all done while keeping a balance. So that's quite a challenging activity there. And at the bottom, this child is crawling in and out of those arches. So all very simple activities where the midline is crossed. All right, so now I'm going to show you a video where you can see some other simple ideas where children cross the midline. So do take a note of them. They're very short activities that can be implemented at any time, and always make sure the child is starting in the right position with the opposite hand to foot, as you can see in the image right here. So let's watch this video. All right, so I hope that you got a few good ideas there. So what I'm really trying to emphasize is that, you know, if children are doing movement in the early years, if they are doing it repeatedly, the neural pathways become stronger, and this means the information flows quicker through those neural pathways, and the more they repeat, the easier it gets. So this is really, really important. To do an activity just once is not enough. They need to be repeating a wide variety of movement experiences in the early years. All right. So here, I just want to briefly explain to you the types of movement your children should be doing. So static balances, that's just a wide variety of balances where they hold their body still. Dynamic balance, so this is being able to keep your balance while moving. So whether they're running, jumping, turning, doing step-togethers, hopping, taking big steps, all of this requires balance while moving. Axial stability, this is when children are twisting or turning, spinning around, swinging. Okay, so all of this develops axial stability, which is the rotation of the body around the spine. So static balance, dynamic balance, axial stability, all these three types of movement develop vestibular balance. And without vestibular balance, children will struggle to learn. Manipulative skills, as I have said earlier in this webinar, children need to learn to track, and they need to cross the midline. And manipulative skills also develop hand-eye coordination, timing, agility. They learn to react quickly, and very, very good for focus and concentration and motor planning. Locomotive skills, all of these different types of activities fall under the skill type, locomotive, and this is what children should be doing every day, but sadly few are. Hopping, jumping, leaping, running, skipping, sliding, galloping, all of these types of movement require motor planning, which later leads to problem solving in the classroom. They have to concentrate on what their body is doing, its timing, its directional awareness, they're strengthening their feet. So all of these types of movement are what develop all-round body coordination and balance for early learners. So this is what's crucially important. And because of this need in the early years, I am the founder of Moovkids, which is a program focusing on the physical development of early learners. And in my program, I have all of these skills. And I recently launched something called Moovkit. And Moovkit is a very affordable subscription with 100 activities, and you get more activities every week. And you can see by all of my, on the right-hand side, this is what you get in this program. So if you are wanting a resource for your children so that you can implement activities in your kindergartens or daycares and have those ideas at your fingertips, the QR code is there. You are most welcome to subscribe. And with these activities, you are given the object of every activity, a teaching suggestion, and support to help you teach well. This is what the platform looks like. And this is where you can contact me. I am very grateful to have had the opportunity to speak to you today. I hope that you are inspired to implement movement daily with your children. You do not have to be a PE teacher to do so. I have given you many ideas in this webinar, and you can always contact me for more. So please understand your children need to move daily and to move well. This is how you can contact me. If you visit moovkids.com, the pink QR code, there's a free floor circuit for you to use with your children. I thank you for your time today and for listening to me. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.